I'm Dr. Russell Rosenberg. I'm Chief Science Officer and CEO of Neurotrials Research in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been trained as a sleep clinician and a sleep researcher. I've been doing sleep research for over 35 years and have worked on many medications that have been brought to market for problems involving insomnia, as well as the flip side of the coin, which is excessive daytime sleepiness. Certainly one of the most satisfying aspects of my career has been the involvement in real science for real medical and psychiatric disorders. And so I've had the opportunity to see many medications in very early development and see them come to fruition and available for patients who have these disorders. The other aspect of this that's been particularly gratifying, in addition to teaching other physicians and other healthcare professionals about the disorders and their treatment, has been to see how the patients have benefited. And that's true for not only the sleep disorders that we treat and we are researching, but also for neurologic disorders like Parkinson's disease, and there's been some great advancements there, great advancements in pain, as well as a tremendous amount of work looking at mild cognitive impairment as well as Alzheimer's disease. I think there are a lot of advancements that have taken place over the last 30 years, and many more advancements are coming, and I'm very optimistic. I think one thing we all have to be optimistic in this environment with COVID is to see how fast scientists are bringing a potential vaccine to the market. And if we can use some of those technologies that they're using for advancing the process for bringing drugs to market, that will be a tremendous help to patients, not only in the US, but worldwide. COVID-19 has had a profound effect on conducting clinical trials. In March of this year, we decided to discontinue our studies, and the sponsors were in agreement with that. And we've just recently reopened and started a number of clinical trials. We have implemented some significant mitigation strategies around COVID. Patients are thoroughly screened for their current health status over the phone before they come to our offices. When they arrive to our offices, their temperature is taken, and they are questioned about their current health status. So everyone is wearing masks and gloves in the office. I don't think there's a way to guarantee there's no risk, but we are certainly doing much more than we ever did with regards to infection control, standard operating procedures. And I'm very happy with my staff and how this has all come together so that we can make our patients and subjects safe. Well, with regards to how COVID-19 has affected and is affecting current clinical trials, we're doing many more visits via telemedicine and phone call to patients and to subjects to find out about their status, having them complete questionnaires either online or with voice calls. So, yes, we've had to implement more distant type of strategies for assessing patients and keeping up with them. They don't mind so much because they don't have to drive in, or they don't have to find ways to get into the office. We're also tracking patients with a variety of different devices that are parts of the protocol that allow us to understand how they're doing on a particular medication. And so it really hasn't affected the science. I think there are ways in which we will see changes for the long run. The other change I have seen is that with regard to the monitoring of these trials, we are seeing more distant monitoring with the CRAs monitoring from afar, and that rather than having to come into our office as much. So I think those are the main ways that we see changes now, and I think a lot of these are likely to stick with us for a long time. Well, the CRO investigator-site relationship is critical to the success of a study, and one of the biggest aspects of that is communication prior to the implementation of the study at the site. I found that the better the communication early on, the easier it will be to conduct the trial at our site. And I think the better quality we'll get a better quality data set when the CRO is not scrambling to make sure that they have everything in place. So this is a very important relationship because we have to have everything ready to go, and the CRO has to have everything ready to go for the trial, and there has to be constant communication and a tremendous amount of that on the front end to make sure that the trial runs successfully. Well, what I value most from a CRO when we're starting the whole process is the high level of communication. Some understanding of the therapeutic area is particularly important, and not only understanding of the therapeutic area, but understanding of how the study actually rolls out and how it is conducted at that particular site. And being able to identify what some of the hurdles might be or roadblocks might be to a successful trial. So that's really, I think, the key aspects to what a CRO needs to be able to have in terms of a skill set from the very beginning. CROs, sponsors, and sites need to work together from the very beginning of the trial. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't see this happening, and the sponsor has something in mind, and then the CRO does not work with not only the sponsor but with the site to make sure that these don't happen. I think most hurdles or roadblocks can be anticipated in advance, and a good CRO like Clinilabs can do just that. There are competing agendas with regards to protocol development. One is the science goals, and one is the goals to produce a study that can help support a new molecule or a new drug's approval by the FDA. So a CRO has to balance all the competing agendas and look at these and try to come to and work with the sponsor to come to a middle ground in which the trial is conducted smoothly and can be conducted in a timely way. With the increased technology, we're going to collect more data and understand a particular drug's efficacy and safety much better. So I think these will add and will add to the process, add to the science, and be extremely helpful now and in the future. I found working with Clinilabs very easy, and that they understand how trials are to be conducted in a high-level way. And so, all the things that they need to run a successful trial, they've demonstrated to me. They have a high level of communication. They're able to understand the hurdles and the potential roadblocks to a successful trial. They've been available to address even issues regarding recruitment. So, they have to understand the whole process, and they do, and that's why it's been a pleasure to work with them. Over the years, I had a chance to work with Dr. Gary Zammit, who is the CEO of Clinilabs. I have, been very supportive of their services, and actually have seen their services grow and improve in quality over the years, which has been very nice to see. So I understand that Clinilabs has really the latest technology and ability to help sites conduct their trials successfully. So I have just grown to be comfortable and have a high level of confidence in their service as a CRO. People decide to engage in a clinical trial for a variety of reasons. And sometimes it's that they find that they'd like to help advance the science for not only themselves but for others. They find that they're very interested in the disease process that they may be experiencing, and they're looking to learn more while getting engaged in a clinical trial. They feel that by getting involved in a clinical trial, they'll be under a heavier or more frequent level of observation. So I think there are personal benefits as well as altruistic benefits that patients consider when they're thinking about joining a clinical trial.